Hi, I'm Scott Nicholas, the Head of Business Capability and PMO for Australian Hearing. The most important element that I've learned for delivering projects is that people deliver projects. And there's a large array of elements that make up what that means, but ultimately what we're saying is you can have structure, you can have frameworks and guidelines, and they're all important to delivering projects, but ultimately they're shorthand or ways to accelerate the process or make it more efficient for what people need to do inside of projects. So really what we're trying to do is harness the power of people as early as possible as soon as the project starts. And you can do that in a few different ways. One of them is trying to find the implicit need inside of people to be satisfied by what they're doing in the project. So if you're a solution architect and you love the technical details and you're implicitly interested and engaged in those things, then we're going to try and give you opportunities to experience that throughout the project life cycle. So finding that implicit need inside of people and trying to provide them that experience through the project. It's not always possible, but it's something we should be aspiring to do. The second element is about collaboration, and it's about trying to bring people together and explain to them what the behaviours expected in each project are going to be, and that we're going to favour things like conversations over email. We're going to try and get face-to-face, and we're going to try and do it in groups so that we can work together to try and come to a common understanding, rather than everybody working towards different objectives or getting off the same page. So collaboration is really the key, trying to bring people together all the time. And the last part, and perhaps it sort of overarches everything that I'm talking about, is that we need to build trust. Trust is the key, or the grease that oils the wheels or the cogs of the project. And the more trust we can build between people, the more willingness we've got to speak openly about where the problems are. And if we don't have that, then we've got a bigger problem because we don't know where the problems are. And we've got the willingness to trust that the other people are going to perform the functions that are required. And we can, if they're not, we can go and speak to them openly and say, hey, I really need you to do this thing, can you help me out? So building this culture of supporting and helping one another through trust is really, really key. And we think about Tuckman's model of forming, storming, norming, performing. Trust allows us to move quickly through those first two phases, through forming and storming, and get to the norming and performing phases, so that we're really working well together. We've got a team that's humming and we understand where the problems are. You know, I try to promote inside of my teams that sense of, if there is a problem, I want to see maybe the person struggling, but three other people coming along to try and help them. So there's a sense that we're all trying to work together, we're all supporting one another in whatever the issue might be. So people are at the core of everything we do when it comes to projects. We need to acknowledge that, and very early on talk about what behaviours we're expecting and try and promote that within inside our project teams, so that people truly understand what success looks like and what determines success. Forget about the frameworks for the time being, forget about the guidelines, try and bring the people together first, and then you can overlay that structure on top. So that's my philosophy, and I hope you find that interesting.